going on, folks? I'm having a great evening. I'm about to take it in. But I was thinking, that encounter I had with the viewer and how these people are reacting to this message, and it's knowing the ignorance of man in general that plagues me. Is why I do the fight I do. In so many ways, we see examples of ignorance and foolishness and unnecessary ignorance, because that person's in a place where they're trying to be bigger. They're trying to prove a point, when this is about higher reasoning that attaches to the Most High, the most important aspect of anything we talk about ever. So I'll make this quick and I won't talk too long. It's dark out here. I want to be safe, so I'm going to pack it up. But I've thought about some things. It's so funny that people would challenge and say that that they're sociopathic. That thing that, whether you're killing someone or not, that thing that's disservicing another person or taking from someone for your own benefit, which is why society is plagued. So to even make the argument in a calm, reasonable understanding when I'm talking about this at this point, because I'm beyond, I'm displaced from the foolishness of the event, but just studying it on its merits, the ignorance of a fucking fool. I'm in the company on a daily basis with the great ones. The beautiful moon goddess is out tonight. Hey, great one. Very beautiful, folks. And it dawned on me one day. I was sitting with them one day, and I just happened to notice that all around me was supreme beauty. I'm talking about beauty that breathtaking. Imagine sitting before someone or several beings who are so beautiful that you cannot describe their beauty. They are perfect. Literally, if you think about scales of perfection, because you guys don't understand these things. They're caretakers, folks. I'm trying to make you understand. These are trickle downs. This material reality is completely caretaking, but you don't appreciate. So you don't recognize beauty for what it really is. You don't see true beauty. When they see value in things and the lessons I learned from them, right? The things that you're willing to suppress and ridicule, they can find beauty in anything, because everything is in oneness, folks. The pure ignorance. So I laughed at that. This person was coming at me from a place of third dimension foolishness, reasoning that I'm some social media guy on here trying for sensationalism, which is why I wanted to talk tonight, because it made me realize that a lot of you do things just for sensation, right? Everything that you discuss, all of the things that dance in your mind are about in your own self-entertainment, just like a movie or something, right? So, you're a sociopath. You're out doing fucking harm and doing whatever you're doing, bullshit. The stuff we need to get rid of. You're willing to stand on a soapbox somewhere and tell the world, society, that sociopath is what we need for our salvation, because you're a fucking idiot. No one is reasoning this shit. No one with a sound, logical sense of thought. Right? So this is why we do this, folks. See? You're all waking up too. It's funny. You're getting this. So as I sit amongst the great ones on a daily basis, my great mentors, whom I love and care for, I've realized, that I am blessed. And many people just do not want to receive their blessings. They're closed off because they want to be. See? I had to figure this out. Self-serving behavior. So yeah, I'm going to tell you a story. And this is interesting, because this is what I want you guys to understand about how you're thinking about everything. You are the problem. And we'll start this off and set it from that viewpoint, right? Because there is a problem. Now we need to find the source of the problem. Now I can tell you about who the source of life is. Listen carefully. Once upon a time, an enlightened man found himself in the company of the gods. And he learned some great lessons and he learned about love and oneness. And every day of his life, he strove to hold on to the Most High and stay in that oneness, because it was giving him the abundance in his heart that he needed to carry on for the rest of his days in many lifetimes, right? So with this great knowledge, he was excited, and he went out into the world society amongst fools and assholes and lowlifes and narcs and fucking demons and shitbags and scumbags, some of who can proclaim that they're great and that they really help society, and and all of this bullshit. So he goes about society, and there's a little park that he walks in. Sometimes he's in meditative mode, and he's walking through the park, and he's thinking in nature and stuff. He takes these walks, and along this path he encounters another person, right, in passing, and they see each other daily in their comings and goings. And the guy says, "You seem very at peace with being out here. I come out here to get away from my problems in my life, and I see you out here, and you seem like you're very at peace, and I'd really like to know what your secret is, because I know it's something key to being out here, and that's why I'm out here. I'm trying to find something." So this person was seeking, just like many of you are, right? They can smell something, right? And they're sniffing a little bit harder, trying to see where that aroma is coming from. And I like that. So in this story, the guy was impressed by the fact that the enlightened man, being that guy, was impressed by the fact that in a world full of fools and shitbags and lowlifes and scums and narcissists and just the lowest of rungs of you can think of society, he would find one who seemed to want to know some things and was seeking or thirsting or seemed to be thirsting. So he discussed some things about oneness in God, because that is the most important aspect of it all. What's the point of talking about anything in truth if it's not about the real truth? You get what I'm saying, folks? The Most High. So he tells this man about the Most High and his science. He breaks it down in formulas and certain things. And people are not grabbing how this works, folks. This is why you're in ignorance. Because you want to live for today. You want to believe that this is all there is. See? But he shows this man some things, because the man was really interested in learning. So on a particular day, after a particular conversation and enlightenment, the man seemed eager to see some things. And so, taking a chance, the enlightened man decides to show this person something. And he goes to the river, and he draws a cup of water from the river and pours it on the ground. And what the man notices is that instantly, in the drop of water, he sees a face as the water rolls down the bankside. He saw a face in the water, like the Tidy Bow man, literally. So it amazed him and shocked him to think about all of these Tidy Bow man commercials, because you got to put pop culture reference in this, because you're talking to fucking idiots sometimes and airheads. So he saw this Tidy Bow man, right, go over the riverbank, and he was certain that he was seeing an illusion. So he asked again. And once again, the man drew some water and poured it on the riverbank. Poured it over the, on the ground, and it rolled over the bank. And it rolled much slower this time. He was able to really carefully look at the stream of water and see that it had a face. So he knew that everything had to be in oneness. And if everything was in oneness, there had to be some driving force behind it all. So for one moment, there was a Eureka moment for this man. And he seemed stunned, and he was speechless. And so the enlightened man tapped him on the shoulder and told him to thank God for his knowledge or understanding, and went about his day. Several days later, he encountered the man, and the man seemed to be a little uncomfortable with talking to him or looking and facing this man. So he was a little standoffish in his passings in the walk in the park, and he stayed away from this guy. So one day the guy approaches him, the enlightened man that being, stops him and says, "My good man, do you have a word for me? What is your current experience and your understandings of the Most High? How do you feel about that?" And the man completely had amnesia about his whole experiences and could not recall a single moment where he saw oneness between himself and all other things relative to the Most High. And so it was almost as if this enlightened man had met a stranger, and he realized some things. When the reckoning comes, the majority of people will face their demise or not see higher vibration. And that's the better way of putting it. Simply because of their lack of knowledge and understanding of the science of God, folks. And who you want to be is your vibration. And it's as simple as that. Holding on to him is seeking higher vibration. But many of you are self-serving because it feels better to step on another person. So this person wanted to stay in ignorance, right? And on that very day, and like I always tell you guys, this is important when we talk. It's getting late out here. But you have to understand that if you're willing to support what you're doing, and you're willing to stand up on it and fight and kill for it, then it should be just as important to stand up for those things, those evils in this world society when you face the reckoning. Just as important. At least on a fundamental level, you would be truthful to yourselves with your lower energies. And I can respect that on some level. You just be getting put back in the place that you belong. Simply. Because a lot of you have been commandeered regardless. And this is the current state of why we're going down this path. So you don't want to learn things. You don't want to be enlightened. Right? And that's what you take away from the story, folks. The average one of you have such a short attention span that things that are above your pay grade, things that will deliver you, the one sole thing that is all things. For sensationalism, you want to see a photo, you want to hear some information so you can argue or debate it, just like that viewer, like I was trying to explain to you guys. When there's a bigger message and a bigger fight at hand, the raising of vibration, folks, the most important aspect, through the Most High. Now we'll pick this up in a part 2. I just wanted to say this. I got to get on. It's getting dark and it's getting harder to see out here, and I got to get in on the trail. So I'm going to make this short. We'll pick this up in a part 2. I want you folks to have a great day. I love bad behavior, but I love the understanding that we can play around. And I always say this. We can play around to that last day. But as long as we're truthful to who we are, and many of us are not in truth, because even in that moment, we're trying to be something. We're following, running behind other people. We're never figuring out who we really are. You get what I'm saying? This is what man is losing with on all fronts. You folks going over to my website, thinkbehavior.info, pick up my book, I Love Bad Behavior. You can also pick the book up on Amazon. Like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for the new subscriptions. I appreciate you guys. We will be following this video up in a part 2. And you guys have a great evening. We'll talk soon. Y'all take care.